A writer is a person for whom writing is more difficult than it is for other people. Thomas Mann. If you're an inspiring writer and finding it difficulty, then keep going. Just keep going because you're on the right track. With that, I welcome all the viewers of People's Voice Season 3 to its finale episode. Today we are going to have a lovely, fabulous, a sweet lady for the finale episode. We will talk about her after a while once I'll invite her in the chat room. Till then, let us have a quick chat one on one. How you all doing? Hey Uni. Hey Vani, she is here in the live chat. So let's invite her quickly. As I always say, if you have any question, do drop it in the chat room and I will try to take the questions as much as possible. If not, I do inform to our speakers after the chat and they will reply your question in the comments. So after this live chat gets over, do follow up the comments session below this post where you will get reply for your questions. Thank you. Let me just invite her. Seth, hey, so DS Rihal. I hope you all enjoyed season 3 because I thoroughly enjoy talking to all the authors, writers. Hi, Vani. How you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm doing great. Vani, we are almost on time. So let's, without wasting any more time, we'll get into the conversation. But before that, just give me few seconds to briefly introduce you to all my viewers.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Vani Kaushal. Vani is a best-selling author, columnist, journalist, and an art curator. She has been widely interviewed by media, both print and television. Vani's new romance novel is going to be out very soon, and it is titled Seconds Later. She splits her time between reading and writing columns for online platforms like Quint, Scroll, and Open Magazine. With that, I warmly welcome Vani Kaushal on People's Voice Season 3 finale episode.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And this is my pleasure to be here on this platform. I want to say hello to all your viewers and everybody who would be watching me in the future time as well. A big hello to all of you and thank you for being here. And Nasima, I want to thank you because you brought together this initiative. This is in this third season. And when we were talking yesterday, you were telling me like what led to this a point where you created these Insta live videos and you're going all out to invite people. It's great what you're doing at this time when people are like so anxious and because of the lockdown and all. So it's just amazing. So I wanted to compliment you, and you were such a beautiful girl yourself, and from Kuwait. Wow. So it's just amazing. Pleasure is all mine.
Thank you so much for that lovely comments. It is complete our pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Avani, let's start with a very basic question, and I'm sure all our viewers want to know a bit glimpse of your life, of your background.
Yes, definitely. I think a couple of your friends have joined in and they are saying hello to you. So, hello to all of you, you just joined. So, Nasima, I started off as a journalist and then I worked for a couple of years in some of the top newspapers of India, namely the Times of India and the Financial Express. And then I thought some point of time, I think I thought I was just sort of stagnating in my profession. And I thought an MBA degree would sort of add to my qualifications and probably get me a good job. But then the world was going into recession. This was 2008, and I had all these dreams in my head, that the top consultancy firms would invite me, and I would get a six-figure salary job. And guess what? Nothing of the sort happened. And but what happened was that I had that germ of writing a novel inside me for a long time, but I hadn't nurtured it. And during this time, like whatever experiences I had during recession, and that too in London, which was like sort of not the epicenter of global recession at that time, but it was impacted in a big way. I got to see so much that I said, okay, fair enough. This is enough. It gave me so much fodder for my imagination. I said, okay, there comes my first novel. So that's how I got writing. I started writing my first novel, which was released in 2015, which went on to do a good business, and it sold very well, got me a lot of interviews, lot of TV interviews. And then I released a book last year in the United States. That was a non-fiction book. And this year, or maybe early next year, I'll be releasing my third book, which is a romance novel as well. So that's a bit about me. In my spare time, I read and I write columns, and
Okay.
that's all I do. I have a very interesting life. I sit at a place, and whatever I can do sitting at this place, reading, writing, playing guitar, painting. That's all I do. So that's about me.
That's all the qualities of an artist. Whatever artistic needs to have in them, I think you have most of it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I think, yeah, whatever feeds your soul as an artist, yeah, you go for that.
Absolutely. So it means after hearing your introduction to our viewers, you are more than a decade in this writing world that I didn't know. Wow. That's like that's a good experience, and I'm sure you know a lot about writing world. As we progress in this interview, I will definitely ask you a lot about writing and how is this writing world is evolving in this time. But before that, Vani, as you have mentioned, you have written two books, and third book is ready to publish. What genre is your favorite one, and what you enjoy writing the most?
I think I enjoy writing. When it comes to writing, I can write, I could be writing columns, I could be writing books, non-fiction, fiction. I don't do much of poetry because it just takes a whole lot of you to understand and to write poetry. Oh my God. But I enjoy writing. I'm not really boxing myself into a particular genre, or this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I just see what is at that point in time, what is trying to connect with my soul. So for instance, at this moment, because my third book is about to come out, it's been delayed because of the lockdown. It's called Seconds Later. It's a romance novel. At the present moment, I'm writing a non-fiction book only for women. And this is like, and but the thing is that whatever I may write, I write happy books, because I I don't know. I just feel that there's a lot of sadness and distress around us, and by focusing on that, I think it's just we're bringing more of it to ourselves. And if my books and my any sort of service work that I do, whether it is speaking on platforms like Instagram or Facebook or anywhere, where I can contribute and bring some happiness into people's lives, I think that's just an amazing feeling for me. So yeah, so so that's what I do. So
And
I love writing. That's what, if it answers your question. Do stop me. I speak a lot.
no, no, no,
Do stop.
that's all. That's absolutely all right. I did get answer of my question that you just love to write, irrespective of genre. This is the
Yes.
answer for my question. And one thing you rightly said, Vani, that, and I can relate to it because I am an avid reader, but I like to read happy books. There are so many beautiful, sad book. I wouldn't say the sad book, but there are so many tragic story, real life story, the dilemma, what people go through. But after reading that, you stay with that story, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, and it makes your heart heavy. So I don't prefer to really read those kind of book. I'm sure I'll be looking forward for whatever you write because you write happy books.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just about how our life is. So it's just our life has different flavors. There's sadness, disappointment, distress, and a lot of happiness. I think I like to include all of those flavors in my books. However, the dominant flavor is happiness and hope and faith. So where I see, so even in this book which I'm writing at the present moment, it's non-fiction, and it's for women. I'm not and it's very anecdotal in a way, because I'm borrowing a lot from my personal experiences and from a lot of other things. i'm I'm not putting women as victims, which women oriented books generally do. So, yeah, if I have to say my book is a dish, I think the dominant herb would be happiness, hope, and faith. Yes.
Completely understood. Like you are taking all the emotions of a human being, what they are feeling time to time, but it's not completely dominated by the sad emotions. It's the mix of
Yes.
all,
Yes.
predominantly happiness.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
With that, we are talking lots about books. So let's talk about a specific book, which is your forthcoming book. And the title is really intrigue me to, ask you this question, what is all about seconds later?
Seconds Later is a romance novel, and it has elements of thrill along with romance, and I think it's been delayed a bit because of this lockdown, but otherwise I was hoping for it to be released this year. My first romance was called Recession Groom, and it was a romantic comedy. This one has a lot of elements of thrill in it, and that's primarily because I think readers today, they have very less patience for plain vanilla sort of romance. Everybody likes a bit of thrill and adventure, and if the story is really good and gripping, I think people are like really, they love to read such books. So yeah, it's this that's what my book is all like. That's what the book is, and it's the story of a young girl who is from a very small city trying to establish herself in an industry which is very competitive. She is a TV VJ and one who's very popular, but she soon discovers that it's just behind all the fame, uh, there's a lot of gunk as well. There's a lot of that there's a lot that goes on as well, and how she sort of finds a way out of all that. And it actually takes her, like, this is, I'm telling you from the blurb itself, without revealing too much, without giving you any spoilers, because that's always an issue. You might just, in your excitement, you might just speak too much about things. So so it's like, she actually is face to face with death, and that's when she has a near death experience, and that's what takes her to realize the reality of things. I can't tell you beyond this, but seconds later, I think that's just the title that came to me, and it just struck me, and I thought, okay, that's what sounds cool, and I said, okay, that's going to be the title of my. I would be doing a book cover release very soon once I get a date from my publisher, but as of now, I don't know when that happens.
Uh, I don't know whatever you said about the book, the summary of the book. It's enough for now, and I and everyone who are watching this live session wish you all the very best for the release of your book seconds later.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm also excited to talk about it, but it's just that sometimes, you might give out everything, and then the readers are like, "Oh my God, did she just give us the ending?" So, but it's a romance novel. You would enjoy reading it. I hope. I
And
hope. Again, it's my service work.
and that's the reason I'm not insisting you to give us more. It's absolutely fine. I know when you write something, it's so precious, and when you do silly mistakes, how much it will hurt, how much guilty you will be after
Yeah.
saying a few lines. So I won't insist you at all, Vani, on that. But Vani, since I started this People's Voice with in collaboration with authors, writers, and before that, I have done a bit research. I did my homework, and I came to the conclusion that authors and writers, for them, there are not many platforms where they can display their talent. And as you mentioned, you are in writing world for more than a decade now. Being an experienced author, what is your opinion and how we can improve this scenario? If you have any tips or any idea.
Yes. One, every time you say a decade, it's like makes me feel like an old lady. No, 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 that's perfectly fine. I started as a journalist way back in maybe 2002, I guess. So it's been a long time. But then, when you sort of don't look at it that way. But yeah, so
About your experience, you do know, it's nothing to do with your appearance.
Brilliant. So I would say, Nasima, there are a couple of things for authors and writers. I can just interrupt me if you feel like doing that. Just interrupt me. So first thing is that there are many more platforms for writers and authors to display their work today compared to what they had a couple of years ago. You could write blogs, you could write for newspapers, you could write. There are a lot of online newsy platforms, entertainment platforms, and they are always looking for good content. So let me tell you this, that you need not just be writing books, but you could be a blogger, and there's just so much opportunity for you to display your work. However, what restricts writers is the cash component of it. So when you're doing for self-serving motives, like I should get money out of it, then the sort of writing that you do and the platform that you look at is completely different. And that's where most people find it very difficult to make money out of their writing, because of a lot of reasons. Their writing may not be good, they may not have creative ideas about what they are writing. And sometimes I would say even the editors of online platforms are also like very choosy. They're also like, what are you writing? You have to every idea has to be agreed before you start writing. And then so it's all like a lot of commissioned work happens, and then you get paid maybe 2 months down or 3 months down. So it's like that. Same works for freelancers as well. But if you want to do, like, if you want to do it to serve others, like, let me just put my writing out and let me see who benefits out of it, then of course you're not looking at the cash component. And for such people, there are a lot of platforms which are happily, they would happily accept submissions and all. But then I think what generally happens is, in that, the quality of writing goes down. So you find a lot of grammatical errors, and because nobody's paying you cash, why would they spend money to get your stuff edited? So the quality is very poor, and you're, as it is, not able to get a lot of eyeballs on whatever you have written. So people get disappointed very quickly. And I would say that writing, just as anything else, if you're learning golf or you're doing anything in your life, I think there has to be a consistency. You have to do it again and again and again. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I think people get disappointed and they just yeah, that's when you lose out steam, and you're like, ah, it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for anybody else. And trust me, there are a lot of naysayers as well. They're always ready to tell you, ah, what are you doing, wasting your time and all that. So yeah, so my advice to people would be, people who are willing to write and contribute, I would say, don't stop because your piece gets rejected, or don't stop because you get negative you get negative comments on your what you've written. Just continue writing, and maybe so if you're good, if your writing is promising, then soon enough you will find a way for wherever a way for your gift to show itself. Here I
True.
am.
Yeah,
So
I also feel that writing is a profession, especially now when you have a plethora of writers out there. You cannot just depend on writing for your bread and butter. You need to have alternative that can pay the bills. Writing
Um,
profession something.
again, as far as that is concerned, I think it's just what you believe, because whatever you believe will come true. And I think if you just remove that belief, I have a friend of mine who started off as a film critic, and he's there on Instagram. I'll just forward him the video. So he started off as a film critic. He was an engineer, and he was doing very well at his job, and he just suddenly left it. He said, I don't feel like going there anymore. And he started writing for top newspapers, and today he is freelancing and earning a lot of money just by being a film critic. So I think you can earn a lot of money if that's your goal, that is.
Absolutely.
But it depends on what is the level of your talent, how much work are you doing, because writing requires a lot of background work as well. Even for writing a novel, it takes me so the one that I'm releasing in a couple of days or months, my latest novel, this took about 1.5 years. So there's a lot of work that goes into just polishing and editing and all that. If you're ready to do all that work, yes, there is money out there. So yeah, so I would say don't go out with any sort of preconceived notions, and just go with an open mind, and things do turn out fine for people. I
Hopefully.
hope that's encouraging.
Yeah. Vani, we are a bit behind the time. So I would quickly like to ask, this is the question, it's quite important, and that's why even we don't have much time, still I want to ask. In our phone conversation, you mentioned that your work took you to the United States, UK, and many other countries. So how traveling helps your thought process in writing?
Thank you for that question, Asima. Yes, I have traveled a lot. In fact, the last book I released was in the United States, Los Angeles. And then, of course, my first book that I released in 2015, I started writing it, and a lot of the writing process happened in England. I was in London at that time. I think when you are traveling, when you're meeting people, I think it adds a lot of flavors to your story, because you experience so much, and it gives a lot of fodder for your imagination, and you can, it just makes the whole thing so flavorful. If you've not seen that, then I don't know, maybe people write without having those experiences, but I don't know really how that happens. But yeah, if you're a writer, you must just experience life. Just be with people a bit, not too much, a bit. Writers are uh, a bit solitary creatures. They like their alone time a lot.
Yeah, and they are a good observer. So I'm sure whenever they travel, they try to imbibe something and bring that to their writing.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely.
Vani, before we sign off, Any last thought that you would like to share with our viewers? It could be an advice, tips, anything, what you feel like.
Okay, there's this advice that I have for your viewers. Since even in my country, there's lockdown in a lot of states, and we still seeing that the disease has affected, and it's I think what it has affected is the minds of people. I would say read good books, read happy books, just somehow meditate, go out into the nature, just enjoy and be peaceful, because I understand these are tough times, and what you were doing, what this talk that we've just had, it's something to just keep things going. So find what keeps you going, even if let it be whatever. I started playing guitar for the first time. I picked it up in when the lockdown began, and I've already, it's just so much fun to play all those songs. And also just find what excites you, what makes you happy, and just please stay safe, and just take this easy. We're so soon going to see an end to all this crisis, and it's going to be fine. But till then, I wish you all happiness, good cheer, and good health.
Thank you so much, Vani, for that lovely advice. I'm sure that advice we all need, whether you are a writer, author, or just a reader. Thank you so much for that lovely conversation and giving your precious time to People's Voice last episode.
Thank you so much, Nasima. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. And to all the people who are watching this, thank you so much.
Thank you, Vani. Take care. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
So that was a wonderful author, Vani Kaushal, who have beautifully shared her journey with all of us. I just want to tell you all, there is no better teacher for writing than reading. That's why the best investment is start reading if you want to be if you want to be a writer. I'm going to invest lots of time after this season gets over in reading. What about you? With that, I hope you like the season 3 in collaboration with authors, writers. If you have any comments, feedback, suggestion, what theme we should have for the next season, do DM me or put a comment on this video, and I will get back to you. Till then, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep reading and writing. Bye bye.